Here's our guest speaker.
Of all the really cool decisions principals get to make, one of them is who will be the guest speaker at graduation. And this was by far the easiest and, to be fair, funnest decisions that Pam and Chester and I made. I introduce to you our guest speaker, Michael Cody.
For anyone who doesn't know me, I'm Michael Cody, a grade 11 student at Hants East. This year, something unexpected and terrifying happened to me. I was asked to speak in front of an entire auditorium filled with my peers. When Mr. Smith asked me to come up here and speak, he gave me a little time to think about it. It took me a couple days to decide to do it, but it took me a couple months to decide what to talk about. As most of you probably know, I had a serious snowboarding accident earlier this year that resulted in me becoming a quadriplegic. Since the accident, my life has been quite different. I've been, and still am, living at the rehab center. I haven't been attending Hants East, and maybe more noticeably this wheelchair. I wish there was some way I could give everyone here today the benefit of an experience like mine without putting you through all of the hardships. Unfortunately, I think some of the most valuable things I've learned are too unique and personal to even put into words without losing all meaning. I'm going to try and share a little bit about what happened, what I'm learning, and some thoughts for the future. My accident happened on February 16th. I always knew I was a quick learner, but this lesson I learned extra fast, even for me. I learned my first lesson just seconds after impact, and it was that attitude makes all the difference. After I hit the ground, my legs were bent at an awkward angle in front of me. I tried to straighten them out, and they didn't move. I knew right away I wasn't going to home that night. I'd heard of quadriplegics before, but I'd always thought the term quadriplegic meant completely paralyzed from the neck down. I now know that isn't the case. Fearing this was my fate, I tried my arms. They swung from my shoulders. Much better. But my elbows fell limp and my arms fell to my chest. Knowing my arms had some movement was still enough to bring a smile to my face. My two friends quickly made their way over me. I told them I couldn't move my legs and that they needed to go get paramedics. The funny thing is, looking back, they both left me. Snowboarders and skiers landing all around me, and those who took off and left me at the bottom of the jump. I remember staring up at the beautiful clear blue sky and thinking I was in for the ride of my life. I could also see a rail out of the corner of my eye, and people were still snowboarding around me and jumping onto it. Someone hit the rail, and a single thought popped into my head. He hit that rail well. And that thought was just so out of place considering the circumstances. Another smile popped on my face. Then the paramedics arrived. I looked at the paramedic putting the neck brace on me and said, "Well, this sucks." Well, really I said, "This effing sucks." Well, the paramedic looked back and said, "Buddy, that's our quote of the week." Next thing I knew, I was heading to the bottom of the hill on a sled being towed by a skidoo. You may think I'm crazy, but I enjoyed the ride. I guess I would say it's a big part of who I am. I try to stay in the moment. It's not great for planning, but it's been serving me well these days. Since then, I've had lots of time to think, and I realized something. There are two ways you can go after the "oh my god, I broke my neck" thought. There's "oh my god, I broke my neck. I'm going to be in a wheelchair for the rest of my life. This is terrible. Why me?" followed by years of bitterness and anger. And then there's "oh my god, I broke my neck. This sucks. There's nothing I can do about it, so what's next? Let's see what the future has in store. You know that saying, you can't choose what happens to you, but you can choose how you handle it? I guess there's something to that. I'm grateful now that I was still able to be myself after the accident, because the sled ride is the most interesting memory I have. If I hadn't let the knowledge of what just happened completely devastate me, I would have missed the skidoo drive, the blue skies, and those sweet jumps. Another thing I've learned is that no matter how bad things get, there are people who wish they were in your shoes. If we all were to throw our problems up on this stage, you'd probably all grab your own problems back. I'm sure you've all heard that before, but to truly feel it, you should spend a day at the Nova Scotia Rehabilitation Centre or take a walk through the IWK. Those are great places to learn how to truly be thankful. I've met multiple people with brain injuries, and I'm thankful that it was my body and not my mind that was injured. I sang karaoke with a wonderful lady weakening with multiple sclerosis, and I'm thankful to be improving rather than declining. I've played poker with a guy who broke his neck just one vertebrae above mine, and I'm thankful to have the mobility I have. That small difference in injury made the difference between being able to hold your own cards or not. I can hold my cards and play my own checks. I have met others who wish they could move just one finger. My snowboarding accident this year really made me think a lot about what thankfulness and appreciation are. Before my accident, I considered myself a thankful person. I was thankful to have a great family, a nice house, and good friends. Even though I was thankful, my accident made me realize just how much I did take for granted. I would have laughed at you if you told me I would one day be ecstatic if I could walk the dog. It seemed like such a chore before. Now I'm thankful for every finger movement, every twitch, and I've never appreciated a single step more. In the 3 seconds it took to fall, the rest of my life changed forever, and for more reasons than the disability. My eyes were open to the adversity that some people have to live through every day. I had never once thought about what someone with a physical disability has to go through to get ready in the morning. Some people's disabilities are not even visible from the surface. I'm lucky enough to have a visible disability. Who doesn't want to help out the guy in the wheelchair? Some mom was like, oh. Other people struggle with mental disabilities, cancer, abuse, poverty, and many various things that other people are do not immediately acknowledge or understand. A lot of people here in the audience have quietly overcome visible disabilities. They pushed forward and no one knew, noticed, or offered help. I'm thankful people immediately know about my disability and offer help, even though I don't always want it. I know that there are students in the audience that had to struggle through school with one or more of these issues. I commend them. They have moved forward and